this. What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. This is Chris. Today we are doing our morning mastermind chat. There's a few topics that we want to go over and also get into the nitty gritty goals for people. We're going to start with Kyle Scott. Kyle, good morning. Thank you for joining. I talked to you yesterday. You have a really unique situation, which is really cool. I don't know if you quit your six-figure job, but maybe you want
I
to touch on
did. I
that.
blew out.
Wow. I can't believe it.
I
So you
blew
left it.
out. I went to the GM and told him, I don't like you dudes. I don't want to work here anymore.
That's
Then they
amazing.
begged me to go to a smaller store, and it was supposed to be less hours, less stress. It's only less pay. So I rolled out.
Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel? No, I was finance manager at a car dealership.
I got you.
Yeah, no, this is a really cool topic because I came from the car business. I left a six-figure job for no reason to make zero. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I walked away from $200K.
I know. No, it's
and ended up flipping junk for a living.
yeah, I remember my boss was like, you ready for this? He's like, all you need is 10 years of being kicked in the balls and then it'll be worth it. No, the owner was actually the one that convinced me to quit. Because I was like golden handcuffs, loving it, and just like living in the Bay Area, free car and making six figures, and then left it to make nothing. So crazy, but
Yeah.
and still worth it. That's the exciting part.
Love it.
So Kyle, you left, so you already have a finance background. So you already, when I talked to you yesterday, had a really good idea of your numbers.
Yes.
And we're trying to replace at least a $10,000 income, hopefully. And we came up
Yes.
with the plan of 100 items a week minimum at $10 profit. That's going to be the barometer. So, we talked heavily on trying to create the habit of 20 items a day. Did you give that any more thought yesterday?
Oh man, that's the goal. That has to be the goal. I mean, I really chewed on that last night, and then we talked about sourcing 20 items, and man, you're right on that. I mean, I have to source 100 items a week, so that's another goal. And did some OA last night. Bought two calculators off Facebook Marketplace, having them shipped in.
Awesome.
So.
Oh, I didn't realize. I've never done a Facebook Marketplace deal where they ship.
Oh, dude, I do it all the time.
Hmm.
And then I probably ship 10 a month, especially these Department 56 houses I'm selling. I'm in a Facebook group with them that is only Department 56 houses, and man, I sell a bunch of them.
What is Department 56?
The little porcelain Christmas houses.
That's right.
Yeah, I buy
It's money.
collections of them.
Is it money, Tyronius?
I'll buy a collection. Last time I bought some, I bought 85 pieces, and I've sold on average $4 a piece, not including the accessories. And I've already doubled my money out of it. All of them sell between $25 and $60, depending on the piece. The accessories are $13 to $19, depending on what they are. I dump the accessories in my booth because it's not the profit margin I want to deal with. I dumped some bigger houses in my booth, and I sold 8 of them last weekend. So I got to feed that monster and find some more of them. But I just do so well with them because everybody's scared of them because they're kind of large and they're breakable.
So you're also getting a little bit of an advantage in the sense that they're hard to ship, so people don't necessarily want to compete with you. And they're kind of hard to find, right?
Yeah, I've only found 2 or 3 that I can buy collections of. I'm very fortunate. I have a wonderful estate sale company that does good stuff. And then on the last day, she's ready to make it go away. Her job is to sell stuff, but on Friday is to clear that house and make it go away. Like I've bought rooms for $25.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the remainders of the room, she'll walk in, $25, let's go.
One thing I've noticed from talking to so many people about reselling is that every single niche works. as long as you don't sell in too many niches. That, like if you're
Right.
trying to build a business, that's really the difference between hobby and business is really specialization. You those places like here they have restaurants that have really long menus. None of those
Of
places
course.
work. None of them work. Nobody goes there because they don't know why they're going there. Um, the most popular places in the Bay Area serve 1 to 10 dishes. In and Out basically has one product, and it's busy 24/7. Their grilled cheese, I didn't realize, is just a regular burger with no burger in it. Like that's crazy. Anyway, the focus is the hardest part of reselling. Cool. So, did you give any thought to your schedule?
Yeah, it is very focused on. I'm going to use this mastermind call to prep some stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do once my employee comes back to work on Friday.
Okay.
But I'm going to use this to prep stuff and have stuff in a tote ready to go in my streamlined process, and just picture, stick it to the side, list it, and then put it in a tote to store it. So try to streamline that process a little bit.
Okay.
List during the morning, ship after lunch, and then come back home and prep or whatever I got to do. If I got to list some of these easy $12.99, $13.99 action figures, I'll list those too, just because those are brainless. You don't have to worry about anything in those.
Yeah, I'm calling that the Dave Ramsey method of listing, where you just get the momentum going. Even though the
Yeah.
most profitable thing would be to list the hardest, most expensive thing.
Yes.
That's a hard thing to do right when you wake up. But I
Right.
like what you mentioned yesterday as well, as doing your shipping at the end of the day, because shipping is brainless. You don't want to use your freshness on shipping.
Right. I just have to make it to the particular post office I like by 3:30. Other than that, I'm okay.
Let's see. And then we had talked, or I mean, the outline guys, for those of you listening and trying to make your own goals, you come up with a weekly goal of how much income you want to make. For Kyle, it's $2,000 a week net. Then you come up with how many items you need to do. So for Kyle, it's 120 a day. Then you need to put into your actual schedule 20 a day. And then there's going to be one thing preventing you from doing that. And that's what your weekly project is. Kyle, did we talk about that? What's your number one thing keeping you from listing 20 a day?
Man, I just get distracted. My eyes start bleeding after about 15, and I just hate it. That's the biggest deal. And we talked about that, and we may outsource that.
Yeah, I hear you. I've very rarely seen people sustain business without help. That's like the name of the game.
Certainly.
Actually, I'm gonna self-vote that to be the biggest hack in your business. Once you have a full-time helper, your business is totally different. You have to be
Now,
responsible. Go ahead.
full-time or part-time? Because
I,
we talked about that yesterday.
yeah, that's a good point. Somebody who relies on the income. So it can't be
Okay.
like we talked about your friend's wife.
Yes.
That's probably additional income for
Yes.
them. If it's someone who
Yes.
needs that income, they act very differently.
Certainly.
So that's where 20 hours a week is probably, I mean, a lot of people have said in the group that that's a good amount. At 20 hours a week, you have somebody who's in it to win it, but then they're also not burned out. A full-time employee is pretty brutal. Some Carol is in the chat is asking about Atomic Habits, the book by James Clear. If you guys have time, that's a great read. Or listen. James Clear talks about building little mini habits that help you do things. Every single one of those habits works. Like he put the floss picks in a bowl and put the bowl next to his toothbrush, and he went from never flossing to flossing every day just by doing that. They wanted to eat fruit, so he put a bowl of fruit in the middle of the kitchen. Now they eat fruit every day. It's like small, tiny things like that. Like if before you left your listing area, if you put all the next day's listing stuff there before you left, that probably would transform your business. But that's just a small thing.
I think a 3-inch tape gun is my next one.
3-inch tape gun is fantastic, especially for FBA. Um, Shayna is asking, it might be Shauna. Shauna's asking, what do you pay listers? That's a good question to ask people in the group. Me, I pay $3.50 all the way through. This is photographs is about $1. All the platforms is about $1. I pay $1 to pack and put the item away, and then 50 cents to ship. So all in, $3.50 an item. Bill, do you still have somebody helping you, or is it just you and your wife? I don't know if Bill can chat.
Just the two of us right now.
Okay, low overhead.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys structure your day? You also have a job.
Yes, basically my day split kind of half on my e-commerce business.
Sorry, you went mute, Bill.
So right now I'm shipping, I'm doing the mindless thing.
No worries.
But I sourced a bunch of material yesterday that I didn't get packed for Amazon today, so I'm doing that right now.
Okay, I'm gonna address Good Vibes in the chat. Good Vibes is asking, how do you legally resell name brand products? You have to have an authorization from the brand and either a brick and mortar or a place of business. Let me give you an example. There's 0 sellers that are authorized to sell Nike on eBay. None. If you click on ebay.com and you go on the left side, you can click authorized seller now on your item specific. You can handle that. And Nike has not authorized a single seller to sell Nike on eBay. You can sell Nike on eBay, but not as an authorized seller. So it's all 100% what they call gray market. If you want to legally resell name brand products, you can just do that at any time. But if you want to be authorized by the brand, you need a brick and mortar or a place of business like a warehouse that's authorized to do it. So, as an example, PharmaPacks, Bill, they have to have a brick and mortar also. They can't only be online for certain products because it violates the terms. This is the reason why. If you sell chapstick to everybody, Walmart, Walgreens, whatever, it's not fair if to the people who have a brick and mortar that you just get to sell it online. So they don't want to screw up the market for everyone, all the grocery stores. So they have rules. If you want to authorized sell name brand products, you just need a brick and mortar or a partnership with one locally. And this is the advice I have for everyone in the group. If you have one friend that has an actual store, you need to piggyback on them and use them to get some stuff. Brooks, good morning. Can you chat? Brooks is,
yeah.
What's up?
Doing accounting right now. The consignment's great, but it takes me now like at least 8 hours to do most of my accounting for tracking all
Holy
my
crap.
consignment. Yeah.
Do you have somebody helping?
On the accounting side?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm probably going to get a CPA next year that gives me like quarterly reviews or something like that.
Okay. How many consignment clients are you trying to have?
I would like to get 5 per month.
5
I'm
per month.
pretty much hitting pretty close to that. Right now we're at like 15.
Do you want to grow that or maintain that? How do you handle that?
But with the sales reps, Aaron's doing a really good job. So
Erin is your cousin?
yeah, she's doing listing, she's doing sales. I mean, our sales have exploded. We did like 17 grand yesterday to a sale. So
Amazing. So guys, the largest businesses in the world have business to business reps. This is something that's really important to understand from Brooks. So the numbers are different because Brooks only has business clients. When companies are selling you stuff or liquidating, the dollar amounts are huge. Sometimes Brooks will do 40,000, 80,000, $100,000 worth of goods coming from somebody either on consignment or depending on the deal, he may have to buy it outright. and then he has business clients, people on other resellers that are buying goods. And if you have somebody calling business to business, getting those deals like his cousin, that's how you really scale. That's how all these big companies in the Bay Area operate. That's what I could be doing instead of reselling, is doing corporate sales like that. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Let's see. So Brooks, how do you manage Erin's time? That's a good question. How do you, because she's not your traditional lister.
No, once a week syncs from a opportunity standpoint, and Michaela basically monitors hers from a listing standpoint. So she lives 2 hours away. So once a week at least that she's coming, like she'll do a pickup locally, and then she will list all that stuff or put it in draft mode. And then when she comes to use me, she'll bring it all basically with documentation on it saying this is draft ABC, this is draft ABC. And then we review it, approve it, put it in inventory, and then take it from there.
So I'm gonna ask this question. Bill put in the chat. Is there a line for us to check if we are an authorized reseller for products on eBay? I'm pretty sure you don't get to do that. I think they just give it to you if you are the actual brand. Because there's only one authorized Adidas seller on eBay, and that's Adidas, just the company. They're the only ones authorized to do that. And it says right on there, authorized reseller. So like, I think what that means in simpler terms is it's retail and not resale. They're selling it for the first time. That would be a authorized form of sale. I don't think they can't really even do that. As a brand, you can't authorize resale of your product, because how do you even do that? How do you vet people?
I think that would have to be, they would have to get a list from their distributors of people that were buying through their distributors, and then authorize them that way, I would assume.
Let me see if there's like, I've only seen, this is a new feature. I've only seen Adidas as an actual authorized. What's another big brand? Let me try Sony. I wonder if there's any people who are. Oh, there are. So it says, let me see here. If you type in Sony, there are 4 million products on eBay. 4 million individual SKUs on eBay for Sony, but there are 1,894 results for authorized seller. Let me look here. This is Kamita Auctions. Whoa, this company's huge. They have 3,000 listings, all replenishables. Wow, I wonder how you get that. I will ask. That's a good question, Bill. I don't know how you become an actual authorized seller. I will say though, every single one of these auctions is brand new. I don't know if you could be an authorized reseller of a actually, let me just look if there's any used products that are authorized. That's a good question. Oh, there are. That's crazy. There are authorized pre-owned sellers. That's crazy. How do you get that?
Maybe that's a takeaway. We all call in and find out where we go to, who we talk to get authorized brand approval.
Because I mean, it's hard to see, but on the actual listing, it has a check mark that says Sony authorized dealer, which is really cool. I mean, that would give your buyer way more confidence than just some dude on the street. There is a form that eBay gives you to send to the manufacturers, and the manufacturer has to sign and return it to eBay. Wow. Okay. So Shazad, Shazad, are you an actual authorized I think Shazad is authorized to resell those products, but I don't know if he actually has the designation. Ed is saying they are an authorized distributor for the brand. I'm just saying it's really rare. 4 million listings, only 1,000 listings have it. That's not even 1%. That's 0.5% of people are actually authorized. That just goes to show how crazy eBay is. It's still the wild, wild west. Have heard that some brands occasionally crack down on pre-owned. They legally absolutely can. You can't. It's illegal to sell a fake pre-owned good as well. It's not just new. Sam, did you have a question?
Oh no, I'm just here
Oh.
to listen.
All good. No worries. Let's go. Frank, do you want to chat?
Sure.
Frank, good morning. What are you working on?
Listing a lot of stuff and just trying to be consistent, you know. I'm listing a lot on eBay, listing a lot on Amazon. I'm trying to, I mean, the main thing is really going to zero debt and listing everything that has been kind of piling up.
Mm-hmm.
I have a limited space, and I think the other day you were talking about, you know, outdoor storage. And it's pretty funny because I basically have the Target totes, the $4 totes. If you cover them, they're basically like weatherproof unless a tornado comes in, because I've had them through like outside for like 2 months now. Because at one point I was like, all right, enough is enough. We can't even move in this place. You know, I have 4 other guys, and I'm like, all right, take everything that you don't need for today and just put it outside. So I had like 100 Target totes full of all sorts of stuff, like literally right behind my garage. Now it's getting low, but it was so crazy to see a big mountain of stuff, and it was very motivating because it was outside, no security, you know, like I was
You should send put your address in the chat.
yeah, right. I was like, I'm like, I was gonna buy a shed, and I'm like, you know, that's you know, money I don't have to spend. You know, I could just throw the totes outside and let me try it out because it's gonna be temporary anyway. So I'm like, and then I ended up working out. And,
The Sterilite ones?
Yeah, the $4 cheap Target ones.
They're $6.25 now, I think.
Oh, I don't even know. I have like a lot of them. I bought them
Yeah.
every time they go on sale. I get them for like.
Yeah, I bought them when they were $4 too. But yeah, that sometimes Walmart has those for 99 cents. So check around. The ones at Walmart are better because they have colored handles. Target has them too, but they're just like slightly more expensive. The ones with colored handles snap and are even more waterproof than we don't have any rain or snow here, but Frank, I'm surprised that is holding up because you guys have more inclement weather.
Well, I also get these big, the only covers I found for outdoors that work really well are like barbecue covers, like extra large ones. So I could fit 9 totes snugly under one extra large barbecue cover. And that's like impenetrable.
Frank,
So.
that's like the most unlean thing ever, having all that unprocessed inventory. You want
Well,
to have
that's why I took a kind of this past year has been a lot of experimentation and definitely moving in the direction I want to go. But yeah, lean is one thing, and you know, we spend an hour every day in education and in sorting and cleaning, and you know, it's definitely starting to pay off. And the other part was, you know, when we were sorting everything out, I'm like, well, how are we even going to move things around? There's no room, you know. So we only have like a 500 square foot garage to work with, so we had to just put everything outside, and it ended up working. So
there's 3 people working over there.
4.
Okay. And what is their schedule like? Do they stagger? Do they work all at the same time?
They come in between 7:30 a.m. and like maybe 10 a.m. at the latest. I kind of, because I'm in, you know, I'm moving towards payroll. I actually do that in like at January 1st, everybody's going on payroll. But for now, I basically said set your own schedules, and everything, just to operate in that gray area, which is not
Not optimal.
yeah,
But
not
are they about 20 hours a week? What are they?
no, they're all 40 hours.
Oh, they're all full time.
Yeah, they're all full time.
So what have you learned as we're coming up on the end of this year? For all of you guys listening, Frank is the original Mastermind member. He's been with me for a long time. So the first year you did like you did like 300 grand and broke even because you had like so many crazy improvements and changes. What about this year? What do you think versus last year? Is the business better? Is it different?
Well, more than doubled, and it's 50 times better. So basically, January 1st, I had me and one guy, and I had more guys before that, but I had to hit the reset button, and I took 2 weeks off during the Christmas time to really think about what I wanted to do and the direction I want to go. And I'm really stubborn, and I really didn't want to focus on one thing because I don't like passing things that are very profitable, or I like selling in all the categories because I love going to thrift stores and garage sales and just getting everything. And so the main thing, which is very simple, is just focus on one thing. Now my intention, and I'm starting to do that, is start other stores. But it took 10 months of focus in one category to now build that up to 4 employees. It's paying for itself. They're doing all the shipping, all the customer service, all the listing. I'm still there every day, but only for 2 or 3 hours. And I'm really only, running the meeting and, kind of taking care of a couple things and maybe helping out sorting stuff, but all of that stuff. And I'm basically training them all to make manuals for what they do. I've showed them all Loom, which is the Chrome extension, screen.ly, which is a tool you can use to make like PDFs. Basically, you can upload a picture of something or take a screenshot of the screen, point an arrow, put a little description. So I'm having them basically document everything they're doing. And over time, we use Slack for communication. So if there's an issue with a listing or, these are the couple things that were massive improvements, especially since I moved from that area. And now I have to figure out how to do all this remotely. Even though I am there, it's a commute. So
It's
but
20 minutes from you?
What's up?
It's 20 minutes from you?
No, it's 40 minutes each way.
How far is it?
It's mostly highway, but
Okay.
it's, I don't know, like 30, 40 miles.
Okay. My commute is like my least favorite part of reselling right now, but it's 20 miles away.
Yeah. I mean, the benefit is I just listened to that Ben Franklin autobiography in like 3 days. So
It's a good one.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the main thing is focus. And if you're not into lean at all and making continued improvements every day, and experimenting, I mean, look at any large corporation, any prominent entrepreneur, those two things are kind of essential.
Yep.
Even though they may call it different things, that's basically what they do.
Yep. Sounds good. This is always me nagging you. I feel like your wife. In this group, I'm trying to get people to pick an income goal because I feel like it's more fun to play with people who are keeping score. So like and that's like gives all your people at work a mission. Do you think of it that way with your crew? Do they have minimum metrics or a metric that the whole team's trying to hit? You used to do that with like, we're trying to list 60 grand a month or 70 grand a month or something. Do you still have
Yeah.
that?
So the rule is if each individual person is listing $1,000 a day gross, then that's the goal. And it still is. Now I had different ways of tracking it. And literally when they list an item, they would just document, okay, listed an item, $15, listed another item, $12, listed another item, $35. And they would just add that up at the end of the day, and that would be, then we used Excel spreadsheets and stuff. But now we got rid of that because the inventory system we use now doesn't even show the price of the item. It just shows the SKU number and the title. We use like inventory management, and it's like 50 times quicker to list something or replenish something, but it doesn't show some of that information. We would have to kind of get to it. So we can't really record the price as we're listing stuff unless we want to take an extra step. So I decided to kind of combine a couple things into a kind of a clipboard checklist, and I want to block people's time out. So I want literally every hour, I want a sheet of paper saying kind of what they did, how many things they listed, how much they listed it for, and if any of those metrics are, here's the averages. If it's well below the average, like a one sentence explanation is very detailed and nitty gritty. Now, I'm not the type of person to be like micromanage, be on top of people, but I just want people to have ownership of their time, and I want them to be able to justify if they're way below. For instance, oh, I helped this other person out with shipping for 45 minutes, so that's why I only was able to do this much this hour. And I want everyone to be conscious, and also blocks of time. So my plan is to give everybody 5 to 10 minutes break per hour, because I believe if you block your time out and schedule it in a way, you're actually more productive. So I'm going to try and do focused hour goals, and not necessarily goals, but like just being able to track the metrics and see down to the hour, are we getting the most out of the time we're here? Because, if you just take a day and, the time just kind of disappears, and I want to know where that's all going. And I want everybody to be kind of, because it was, when we did the daily goals, still time was just, half the day was like, where did it go? You're outside talking, this and that, and sometimes it's just like, wow, I didn't realize it took an hour and a half to do this one thing. But now if I'm tracking, per hour, and I talk to the guys every day, all the changes now are done in the meeting, and I ask for feedback, which is great, because I don't want to ever do anything that's, one, they don't understand at least where I'm coming from, or they don't necessarily agree with, or they have, ideas for how to change it and improve it. But we all decided that this is a, good direction. And so, yeah.
So you have a lot of questions, Frank. Frank, they're asking, how do you decide what goes into a clear bin? Do you put plush with video games?
Oh, what do you mean? What clear bin?
The bins that go outside. How do you know how are you sorting the items when they go?
No, when it's outside, it's unsorted. I basically took a whole year and took out loans to buy inventory that we couldn't even process. I didn't have all my ducks in a row, and I thought we were processing 90% of what came in. It was really more like 50%. And then stuff just kept piling up and piling up. And we were really good at organizing that mess into these big clear totes, and they were just everywhere, and stuff was all over the place. We had our stations and everything was functional, but it was a little claustrophobic. And so one day, I'm like, when I was going through the sorting, there's something called the 5S of lean, or the 3S of lean. And one of it is sorting and cleaning. And you basically, in your station, you're only supposed to have what you're working on at that time, right? If there's anything you don't need there, like actually need or might use on a daily or weekly basis, you get rid of it. And when we were going through it, it's like 75-80% of the stuff on all these stations didn't need to be there. And then I have no space. I have a 2-car garage and a basement, and in order to keep all these stations clean, we had to literally put everything else in totes. I'm like, you know what? Just for the sake of time, just unsorted, throw them in totes, put them in the back. And now we just take a tote at a time and sort it and list it one at a time. So that's it.
That's a good way to do it, because that's so much less overwhelming, handling one bin at a time. That's a fantastic way to do it. I was thinking about, because Frank, I am switching from the Sterilite bins to cardboard for storage. And now I think, why not just fill the Sterilite ones with stuff that's unlisted? Because I like this idea of of having a little bit of excess inventory. When you do reselling a little bit longer, you usually don't have an inventory problem. So if you had one, you know, 100 Sterilite bins ready always, and then people could just go get and list, let's say 5 to 10 bins a day is your quota. That's not a bad way to do it. And that's a true contractor position because you work as much as you want. You don't have to, I kind of think that, I can ask you this question actually because you would know better. Do you think people are more productive in a 20-hour work week or 40?
40 for sure. Even
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it really depends. It's like asking if someone's more, they're gonna get more done. I mean, obviously, if
Mhm.
in 40 hours than 20. As far as productive, even at a 40-hour work week, if you take all of the little things away, bathroom breaks, move there, and it's just actual work time, it might only be 20 hours. And that 20 hours is what you're talking about, whether if you had 20 dedicated hours with no extra clutter or distractions, that basically is a 40-hour work week, with minus all the other distractions and stuff. And, and I'm trying to get towards that with, doing more blocks, right? So if someone's responsible for customer service, shipping, and listing, it might be, here's 3 sheets for shipping every hour, check in. And then over time, I could see, okay, this particular person on average ships out 16 an hour over the past 3 months. And this person only ships 12 an hour over the last 3 months, So I could really see people's strengths, people's weaknesses, and ask and be like, hey, do you prefer like just letting this other person ship all the time? And the other person's like, yeah, I actually really like shipping. And generally what people are good at or better at, they enjoy doing more because they get more satisfaction out of it rather than forcing someone to do something they're not even that great at, or you can find something that, okay, this needs a little bit of work, but I'm trying to get granular like that. Like you look at someone like Amazon or these, they track absolutely everything and they have data scientists and all this stuff. I have just me, but there are certain things if you want to grow not only just employees and sales, but also, lower costs and do everything at the same time. I think I'm responsible now for 200 hours a week, 40 of my hours and 160 of theirs. That's a lot of time to keep track of, and it's a lot of overhead. And yeah, so hopefully that answered the question. But
It does. And I think that, let's see, I'm gonna switch to Gusto when I do payroll. But I do think that's a good, Jeffrey in the chat is saying that payroll taxes are complicated. That's absolutely true, but it's very different. Having somebody on a payroll gives them the peace of mind. Most people that operate consistent companies have payroll, not independent contractors. Although it's easier and less complicated to use an independent contractor, it's complicated. Um, Carol in the chat is saying that she's trying to learn macros to automate the 27 steps. See, this is good because she knows how many steps it takes her to list something. And once you know, you can automate a lot of it. Probably not all of it, as Frank and I have tried to figure out, unless it's, exactly a UPC in an exact condition, which is not always that easy. Let's see here. Baron is saying that cockroaches love the glue from cardboard. I agree with that. My storage unit is pretty good. I have also the use of peppermint oil. I haven't had any bugs ever, but that is a concern for some people, especially if the boxes get wet at all. I think you are in huge trouble. Old school pickers in the chat. What's up? Oh, Frank Jeffrey is saying if you need help with payroll or any daily logs, he's on the calls in the evening. It's pretty late for you out there, but he is in Buffalo, I believe. Let's see here. Brooks, Kyle is asking, how do you, I guess This question is for Brooks. Brooks, how are you determining who to work with on consignment? If you can chat. Brooks may be busy. I love seeing Joe's workshop in the background. Yeah. So okay, let's back up for just a second, Frank. Well, since it's fresh on your mind, what are your takeaways from Ben Franklin's autobiography?
Well, he has the 13 virtues, which are pretty cool, and he, you know, he was really a man of business, and you know, he was just a man of character, you know, and he did a lot. You know, he started a lot of organizations. He started like and I think he started they called it some a fire league or something. Basically, there was no firehouses or fire departments. You know, he basically started that in the city. You know, he had many things he brought to the town council and stuff, and had people vote, and it was like unanimous. And that was one of them. Different things, you know, it was just really interesting. I don't really have any like main things. It was just more of really interesting and inspiring. I would have to sit down and look at my notes and stuff to really give you any more than that.
I think one takeaway I have from Ben Franklin's day is it's not that structured. Like a lot of people try to plan every single second. His is like between 5 and 8, figure out the day. Like that's not that specific. It's not like, you know, every 10-minute increments are planned.
Well, now that reminds me, the one thing was he didn't really go to plays, go out and drink with friends. He really just read books all day. You know, that was it. You know, that's the secret. You know, just read a lot of books. He accomplished so much in his life, and most of it was because he had vast amounts of knowledge. When the disparity in knowledge between him and a lot of other people, that's why he was able to accomplish so much.
You think so?
What's up?
I don't think so.
You
I mean, so?
Yeah.
I think it's those 2 sprints a day. Like, can you imagine like really focusing for 4 hours twice a day? That's like he of course he read a lot, but he did a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, it goes hand in hand. It was more,
I don't think so though. I don't think it. Because I think I know a lot, but I haven't accomplished as much as people who just do stuff and know very little.
He also surrounded himself with people who also like to learn. You know, he loved to learn. You know, I think that, you know, if he didn't have that, he may have just kind of been satisfied with a lot less.
I feel like he did a lot, but you know, Warren Buffett does a lot and reads 7 hours a day.
Partnership between the two.
Yeah, you have to do both. But that also, you know, like Warren Buffett really blows my mind with all those companies that he's invested in. He's only visited one. He invests purely based on what the financials look like. Looks for an undervalued company, buys it. That's it. So like on paper, does your business look good? Does it actually make profit? Is it growing year over year? Does it have the right people? All that stuff you can determine on paper. That's really crazy to me.
If Warren Buffett was a reseller, he would have a $50 million buy list, you know, where he'd be reading stuff all day, finding different products.
He is a reseller to a certain degree.
Basically, yeah. You know, like that's, you know, it's like, imagine we put just as much time into finding products, just arbitrage straight up, you know.
He's just doing company arbitrage.
Exactly.
No, but you were right. It's essentially the same as what if you did product research for 7 hours a day? You would probably know exactly what to buy. You know, that's he only visited one company, which is Microsoft, and didn't invest. That's so funny that like he's not emotionally attached at all. Like really good friends with Bill Gates, didn't invest. So he doesn't care about that. It's just, what is the business? You know why? He probably did not invest because it wasn't a good deal. You know, maybe because Microsoft was already crushing it by the time they were doing it. And he only invests in stuff that he can make a lot. Oh, I didn't realize that. Berkshire Hathaway owns part of Savers and Value Village. So there we go. Ultimate reseller. He just buys our organization that resells. And obviously, Goodwill is a massive reseller too. They're probably the biggest of pre-owned goods. Faith without work is dead. Knowledge without action is worth very little. This is a good point. I would say knowledge is the multiplier. So if you do take, everyone has to take action. But if you know a lot, your action might be more smart. You know.
I always say information without application is deception.
Yeah.
Because you learn something and you think that you've got it, but you never actually applied it to your life. So you're deceived walking through life thinking that you've already learned that because you read it in a book, but you actually never applied it to your life. So you may know a lot, but you actually are still unlearned because you've never let it transform who you are.
Mm-hmm. What does this saying, "Don't hunt what you can't kill," mean? Don't chase squirrels if you're not looking for a meal.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. Let's see. I mean, yeah, Goodwill is a reseller. They get all their inventory for free. That's a good setup. Really good setup. Info without application is deception. Yeah. It's hard to balance. You can learn a lot, and then it's also like learning relevant information is really important too. Learn like the Gary Papasan's the one thing. Like just read books related to what you're doing right now. Try not to read things that are not related because it can be detrimental. Means don't try to get something you don't need. Makes sense. Oh, Anonymous Dan is saying that their average selling price on eBay is 70 pounds. Is that good or higher than average resellers? That's a good question. 50% of all stuff sold on eBay is under 12 US dollars. So that's like 10 pounds. So that shows you how most things are crazy. The largest reseller on eBay is E4 City. Their average sale price is like $8. 17 or 18,000 items a day, $8 a piece. Free shipping, free returns. Actually, I don't know if he has free returns. Let me check that. Let me see. I'll put it in the chat. I know he has free shipping. Let me put this in here. Yeah, Tim Ferriss refers to it as just-in-time knowledge. That's true. Yeah, free shipping, but not free returns for E4 City. He's starting to sell car parts now. That's interesting. Nope, they sell car parts now, not only light items anymore. So this company has 32,000 replenishable listings. That's awesome. That is so awesome. It just puts into perspective what's possible for humans. That's insane. And he's like the nicest guy ever. Let me see best match. Whoa, this is so funny. Look at this listing, guys. I'll put it in the chat. He sold 3,319 magnifying glasses. So funny. And they are, let's see. This is $4.49 free shipping. For he sells about 4 a day. That's so interesting looking at. Wow. So cool.
I actually looked into finding a company that sold, wholesale basically it was health products. Just for those, you've seen like say the Walmarts and whatnot, they have the little screen readers that are, 4x6 or whatever, just a sheet of Fresnel lens plastic, because they do sell really well. I mean, if you run it through Zik or some of these other tools, they do sell really well, and it would, it's even an idea for somebody who was looking for something on Amazon if you can get it more locally. But yeah, it's kind of like people get older, have a hard time seeing and whatnot, or they have hobbies that need a magnifier. So it's kind of like your shoes, it's not like people are going to stop having feet anytime soon.
Yep.
People aren't going to stop getting old.
Frank, are you off social? You had a YouTube channel for a while. I see one, but it's
Yeah.
on HTML.
What? I just have the YouTube source it up. I actually deleted my Instagram.
Oh,
Facebook,
source it up.
everything.
Got you.
Yeah, so I actually was thinking of doing that again. Have a whole setup and everything. But yeah.
You can put it. Yeah, guys, it's called Source It Up. If you guys want to find Frank's YouTube channel. Gina's asking, where in Long Island are you?
To make videos again.
What's up?
I said if I see a couple of people subscribe, it'll motivate me to make videos again. So.
You should put it in the chat. Gina's asking where you live in Long Island. She's there too.
Oh, I can't tell you until all my totes are gone from my backyard.
Oh, that's true. And you can't do. Ron is saying no more time for Overwatch.
Yeah. I haven't. I deleted. I had to delete my whole Overwatch account. You have to contact Blizzard, send them your license and everything. I haven't played since. It's been about a year. Best thing I ever did.
How many categories does Frank list in? Good question.
10 months, one category, and now I started a couple of new ones, but they're separate stores, separate employees, separate locations.
Source it up. Let's see. Do I do any meetups? No. I will do a meetup though. If you want to, let's do one. I don't normally do them though. I used to go down to eBay headquarters for the local meetup once a month, but it's the same thing as getting the email from eBay, and it's like a long drive for not. It's the people who resell in that group don't resell professionally, so sometimes it's a bit of a buzzkill. Twistina is starting with a category, then filtering out price to find the underpriced items. That's a good strategy for learning a new niche. So I forgot, there's a gentleman in the chat that is asking if $70 is a good average sale price. In order to have a $70 average sale price, you have to understand that niche. No items that are that expensive. The majority of stuff is cheap. So guys, how that would work is you pick a category like vinyl records, you sort it from high to low, click on the solds and look for what is selling for a lot of money, then look for those items. That would be how you increase your your average sale price. Ooh, interesting. So Shahzad is doing some research on E4 City, the store, the largest eBay seller, and he's saying that the best product line right now is an adjustable phone mount for the car. It's done almost 3,000 pounds in sales this last 30 days. So that makes sense because probably a lot of people need that. I'm going to see if I can find that item. Whoa, so much competition. Wow, look at this, guys. I'm going to put this in the chat. This is incredible. This person is competing. Thanks, Shazad. This person, I just put a listing in the description. This listing is competing with that other listing that Shazad found. And look at this description. It is separate from eBay. Like, you can't click on anybody else's listings. You know how like in the middle it says click other people's listings? This person has disabled that. When you click it, it only shows their item. Flooded market. Whoa. Sorry, my internet connection was a little bit wobbly. But that's just cool to me that you can create a description like that. It's crazy. It's only their items. I kind of like the cell phone holder. Thank you, Jack. That seems almost like a flip. The Dymo 450 is $50 right now, and the Dymo Twin Turbo is $98 on Amazon. Those are great printers. Missing P. Let's see. Oh, that's true too. I never considered that. Certain states may have new laws that like new hands free that would cause that to basically trend. So you could follow stuff like that and it would kill it. All right, guys, I gotta get to work. It's all about just consistency. List every day, get those 20 listings up, and I am going to figure out a way to have these go live. As long, I think it's a pretty healthy group. I think you guys could police yourselves, but I'm gonna get it so maybe this stream runs live, because in a perfect world for me, I would have you guys in the background, but there would be I wouldn't be participating, just to keep me motivated. Because as an extrovert, former introvert, now extrovert, I prefer working with other people. It's really hard working by myself all day, and my contractors don't do it for me because they're not the same plane as me. So it's different. Like, that's why I enjoyed sales, because all the people that work with me all doing the same thing. But in a resale company, I'm the only one that's running it. Everybody else is below me. So I'm not my favorite place to work. But appreciate you guys. See you guys tonight or tomorrow. Take care.